A wonderful chemistry project brought to you by Blake Spangler. How to perform this epic chemistry project. Step 1. To begin, you will start by mixing flour and water with a ratio of 1 to 1 in a small mixing bowl. Here's what my mixing bowl looks like. After you have the mixed solution, you're going to take gloves, you don't have to wear gloves, but I wear gloves, and rub it across your cardboard box. This will create a waterproof sealing, so when the volcano erupts, the liquids won't destroy the box. After you have the first layer of the flour and water mixture on the cardboard, you're going to cut paper, preferably newspaper, but I don't have any, in long strips, and you're going to apply that on top of the flour and water. And then after you do that, you're going to add even more flour and water, and you're going to continue this until you have about 3 layers. And then what you can see here is the final product of the paper mache base. This is probably going to be the grass, and this really isn't part of the volcano yet. Step 2. During this step, basically all we are going to do is paint the base cardboard green, and this is for the grass. Step 3. During this step is the step that I basically built the volcano. I built the base, and I just worked my way up from there. I experimented with many different ways on how to make a firm base for the water bottle, which is going to hold the reaction. And I actually decided to use Play-Doh and then wrap it in paper towels, so when I use the flour and water, it could bond to the paper easily, because it won't bond to the Play-Doh as easily. And so I wrapped them in paper towels, and I had 3, and I made a triangle around the water bottle. And then after that, I wrapped the 3 Play-Dohs with a cut up toilet paper roll, and that was the start of the solid base for the volcano. After I had this really solid base, I could move on to actually forming the volcano. So I used the same technique that I used for the grass, which is paper mache, but instead of using paper this time, I used toilet paper because it was much lighter, and I could easily wrap it around the water bottle. In this picture, you can actually see the paper mache mixture over the toilet paper, and I made this layer extremely thick with the flour, and this was to really help reinforce the strong base. I continued this process until the volcano was basically at the shape that I wanted it, which is in the picture above. But one major change I had to make was I switched to paper towels for the last about 3 layers, because the toilet paper was getting so thick with the flour water mixture that it started to rip even when I would just pour the mixture on top of it. So I switched to paper towels because they're a lot firmer, and it could handle the liquid concentrate. After I was done with probably over 100 layers of toilet paper and paper towels and flour in the water mixture, it took about 16 hours to dry, and this was about 10 hours of direct sunlight, so it took a while to dry. Step 4. During this step, we will be painting and finishing all the aesthetics to the volcano. Here's a picture of the volcano right after it's dried and right before I paint it. Here's the finished product. I basically just threw on as much black paint as possible and then added just a little hints of red randomly across the volcano. Step 5. This is the final step, and during this step, we actually create the reaction and the volcano erupts. All I did was I didn't have a funnel, so I used a paper to use as a funnel to make it easier to pour in the stuff. And so here you can see me pouring in 1/8 cup of baking soda, and I'm making sure all the baking soda goes into the water bottle. And then here is inaccurately measured 1/2 cup of vinegar, and then the reaction creates in the water bottle.